In the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, the global security environment became increasingly complex. Terrorist groups were evolving, using more sophisticated tactics and operating across borders. One of the Australian Secret Intelligence Service's, ASIS, most critical missions during this time was Operation Sentinel. Launched in the mid-2000s, Operation Sentinel was designed to track and neutralize a terrorist cell operating in Southeast Asia that was planning attacks against Australian interests in the region. The cell had already carried out a series of violent strikes, and Australian authorities feared more attacks were imminent. The operation began with ASIS receiving intelligence that pointed to a well-organized terrorist group operating with the backing of Al-Qaeda. This group had planned and executed multiple bombings targeting both Western and local assets, including Australian nationals, embassies, and businesses in Southeast Asia. As the situation deteriorated, ASIS was tasked with gathering intelligence on the cell's operations and preventing any further bloodshed. ASIS agents were deployed to key locations across Southeast Asia, where the cell was believed to have established a foothold. The agents had to navigate a complex political environment, where local governments were either unwilling or unable to assist in combating terrorism effectively. ASIS's main challenge was to infiltrate the network and uncover the full scope of the threat before the cell could execute its next set of attacks. The operation relied heavily on human intelligence, HUMINT, with ASIS agents working undercover to gain access to the terrorist cell. They had to blend in with local populations, develop relationships with informants, and collect information from within the ranks of the extremists. Operating under extreme secrecy, ASIS agents had to stay one step ahead of the terrorists who were skilled at evading detection. Through covert surveillance and careful intelligence gathering, ASIS agents uncovered a plot to target Australian diplomatic facilities and expatriates living in the region. The agents worked tirelessly, tracking the movements of key members of the cell and intercepting communications that revealed the scope of the planned attack. The intelligence they gathered allowed ASIS to pinpoint the locations of bomb-making factories, weapons caches, and key operatives tied to the network. One of the pivotal moments of Operation Sentinel was when ASIS agents identified a key player in the cell, a high-ranking operative who was responsible for recruiting militants and coordinating logistics for the planned attacks. With this critical piece of intelligence, ASIS was able to work with Australian Federal Police, AFP, and regional intelligence agencies to launch a series of coordinated raids aimed at capturing or neutralizing this figure and dismantling the rest of the network. The intelligence gathered by ASIS led to the successful interception of multiple planned bombings and the arrest of several high-value targets involved in the terrorist cell. The raids were executed with precision, ensuring that the threat was neutralized before any harm could be done. ASIS's role in the operation was pivotal in preventing an attack that could have led to significant loss of life and damage to Australian interests in the region. While Operation Sentinel was a success, the nature of the operation also demonstrated the importance of international cooperation in the fight against global terrorism. ASIS worked alongside other intelligence agencies, including MI6, the CIA, and regional partners, sharing intelligence and collaborating on tactical operations to ensure the cell was dismantled. This international effort reinforced the idea that terrorism is a global threat that requires a collective response from nations around the world. The success of Operation Sentinel highlighted ASIS's role in not only gathering intelligence, but also in protecting Australian citizens and interests abroad. ASIS's ability to operate in high-risk environments, gather critical information, and execute precise operations has been a hallmark of its success in counterterrorism efforts. While the full details of Operation Sentinel remain classified, its impact is clear. The operation prevented a major attack on Australian nationals and diplomatic facilities, saving lives and protecting the country's interests in one of the world's most volatile regions. The mission stands as a testament to the professionalism, dedication, and skill of ASIS agents, who work tirelessly in the shadows to keep Australia and its citizens safe from the threat of terrorism.